in danger. Today it is some members who are architects of what we are seeing, who are victims of the same. You cannot afford, as a Zambian, you cannot afford to allow a government that is against its own people, because you too are part of that society. You can't forever know or believe that you'll be in good books with an evil system. Evil has a tendency of turning against itself. Zambians, today, can you keep our phones on silent? Today, many Zambians, Mr. President, can't even access a simple marketing space in a designated area. This government has no shame whatsoever. And when we say government, we cannot rule out Edgar Lungu. Because Mr. President, by our system, he is the executive. The president is the executive. The rest are his appointees. That includes ministers, that includes permanent secretaries. Therefore, a president who can say he's not aware, he's not worthy to be called president. Because a president must stay clear in his mind for him to be briefed by every institution and individuals that need to give him the information of what is happening on the ground for him to make the right decision. The president will be ashamed to even speak and say, I'm not aware. The president is aware of what is happening in the country. He's aware, was aware when you were arrested, Mr. President. He is aware of who killed Kasongo. He is aware of the things happening at Levy Junction. He is aware. Unless he says he's not in charge. I am speaking of a right. He's sitting in my office. The president's is not personal. You sitting there, you are sitting there on behalf of every Zambian, and we have a right to speak to you. You can't mislead this nation, and you can't lead it into destruction. You can't lead it into anarchy. You can't. Remember, there is always a day of reckoning. It doesn't matter which position you are. It doesn't matter where you are sitting. There is a day of reckoning, either here on earth or before God Almighty. Don't intimidate Zambians. It is part of democracy for me to have my freedom to speak. If what I'm saying is wrong, you simply clarify. Don't come and say, we'll kill you. Kill who? You can't kill the spirit of Zambia. You will never. Because Zambia is made up of free individuals whose freedoms are not granted by you, but by God himself, enshrined in the Constitution. That's why we say some of these rights are inalienable. You cannot remove them from the people. Mr. President, it is a sad time for Zambia. So much going on, people hungry, people can't even access proper medication, and yet people are thinking of their own stomachs. How can you call yourself a leader if all you are concerned about is you and yourself, with your own children, and not even your neighbor, not even your uncle. Zambia is mourning, Mr. President. But I know that even if we sat here and spent so much time, we cannot address everything. But it's a sad time. All I'll say is, remain united as your name, members of the United Party, and calling upon the rest of Zambia. Zambians, be strong. Stand up for your rights. Let nobody intimidate you. It's not up to one man. It's not up to one woman. It's up to all of us Zambians. You could be PF, I'll repeat this, Mr. President. When the system is bad, you are more in danger than it is UPND. Sure. You are endangered by the system that you are developing. Repent now. Turn away from your wicked ways. Yes. May God have mercy on you. Yes. Lungu, you have a duty to Zambia. You have a duty to every Zambian, voted for you or not. You are sitting in the Republican office. And you have a duty to keep the peace of this land. Anything, any anarchy, any confusion, any murder by cadres, it comes to you. The buck stops with you, Mr. Lungu, in the office of the president. When you become a Sheila, that's not our problem because you are an individual like me. But as long as you are sitting in that office, we speak against all the evils and you are the #1 offender to the Zambian people. Mr. President, I'm just venting out my feelings. For me, it's not a joke. My heart breaks. For sure. When I see the way things are being run, the police are now captured. To say state capture. It can't be worse than the police that can't do their work because cadres have become stronger than the police. Shame. Shame. Where do we run to? Police, Mr. President, for today allow me to say police, we are with you. We understand that most of you know what you should do. Unfortunately, you have no support from your own commander. It's painful, Mr. President. It is sad. If you can't feel sad and you're in Zambia, shake yourself and ask yourself, are you truly human? Are you still watching? Let me call upon you, Mr. President.
Thank you very much, National Chair.
May you speak opposite the microphone? May you speak opposite the microphone?
You want to lift it?
No.
You want to
sit?
Yes, sir.
Oh, I see. So I've been allowed to sit. Thank you very much. Right. Are these okay?
Yes.
All right. Thank you very much, Madam Chair. Thank you for your very strong opening words. Just indicates how concerned you are, through you, we are, on the state of affairs in our country. And thank you to Secretary General for being here, Deputy Secretary General. Thank you, Mr. Banda, our leaders, NMC members that are here also. And I see members of Parliament, some councillors here, and my fellow cadres. My fellow cadres, the media, thank you for coming at short notice. The chair has picked on important issues. I want to carry on with those issues by being specific and then get back to the generalities in terms of what we should be doing as a country. And all of us, not just some of us, but all of us. Yesterday, most of you heard what happened. If you didn't hear what happened, this is what happened. Our provincial chairman and his colleague, Obvious Mwali Teta, was in court over a matter many of you may know relating to the Kafue by-elections. I'm talking about the by-election for the chairmanship in Kafue. And allegations were made. He was arrested on the voting day. So that's a matter he was attending in court, or attending to. And I will leave that side of things because I don't want the mischief from the PF to say we are contemptuous of court proceedings. No, we are not. We are talking about what happened yesterday at court. Upon leaving court, the police, obviously under the instruction of the PF and Mr. Lungu, as the chair said, Mr. Lungu knows what is going on. He knows. If you are commander-in-chief and your officers are doing things like that happened yesterday, and you don't know, then you're not commander-in-chief. So the correct position is that he knows. The police heavily armed, Chairman Lusaka, Obvious Mwali Teta, and his colleague, bundled him in a vehicle and basically led him away towards the Kafue town. They effected an arrest. On what charge? They did not even say anything. Arresting somebody in a brutal manner like that has become commonplace under PF, has become the norm under PF. What we understand is that the arrest, the brutal arrest, humiliating arrest, in front of his children, his daughters, in front of the family, is to give him a charge which is unbailable. It is to, we understand, to charge him with armed robbery. On the voting day, as they are saying, he committed an armed robbery in Kafue. On the voting day. He was arrested in a public place, in my view, wrongly arrested. I'm talking of the first match. But I'm simply saying this is now become PF's way of silencing anyone who does not agree with their failed leadership approach. Anyone. As Chair said, even those that before thought they could assist a brutal regime, now they are victims of the same regime. I think the Chair put it correct. Even that, those who work for the regime suffer along the way when the regime rots to the level this one has rotted. So, our understanding there is that because Mwali Teta is resisting to rejoin PF under the new image or styling of that you return to PF because if you were PF, you belong there. Even when you know that the PF has failed the people, then you must return to PF. If you say no, they will find some reason to coerce you, to force you, to brutalize you, to break you down. In this case, the plan is to arrest Mwali Teta and charge him with armed robbery, which in their imaginations, in their fixations, he committed on the election day in Kafue. There's nobody who complained of an armed robbery in Kafue. It was never there. The way they did when they arrested him and his colleagues after the 2016 elections, after 11th of August, 2016 elections, kept him in jail for 1 year, 12 months, and he was discharged by the courts of law. But only after 1 year of a brutal, humiliating arrest and detention for a crime he did not commit. I know that he was humiliated because I was being humiliated with him in Chimbokaya. We shared prison together. All of us arrested for crimes we did not commit. But there's a way of oppressing us, suppressing us, taking away our liberties and freedom to choose to be members of the AG. What a beautiful party that we're members of. And people want to force us by brutalizing us to abandon a party whose cause is to save the people of Zambia. It will not happen. They will not succeed. But this is the way of a dictator. This was the way of Omar Hassan al-Bashir in Sudan. Yes. This is the way of dictator. These are the tools they use to oppress their fellow citizens while they amass cash mountains. Because we know that's what the PF government is doing. Amassing cash mountains which they will never even use. You know, when you don't work for money, you don't even know what to do with it. You don't even know what to use it. You start building casinos.
Oh, yeah.
I don't call that an investment. I don't call that an investment. I don't call it an investment. You must produce something, a good or a service that will enrich the lives of people. But this is what happens to dictators. They all end up very badly. Even the stolen loot does not work for them because they don't know how to utilize it. I said to Mariteta yesterday, he came home after they did a U-turn along the way towards Kafue. I said, down here, here's the drink, calm down. This is premeditated by PF. It is to frighten you, it's to pour cold water on your spine so that you can submit. We're talking about it. And you must talk about this issue with strength, not with fear, with conviction, not with gray areas. We are clear, this is wrong. You Zambia, please, you must reach a point where you should distinguish between right and wrong. It does not matter how many times wrongs are brought to us. It does not matter how many times we are arrested without having committed crimes. It doesn't make those detentions right. They will always be wrong. And we must stand and say this is wrong, as what the PF is doing against obvious Mariteta. And many other people who are in prisons today in detention for political reasons, for exercising their constitutional right to choose, freedom of association, freedom of assembly, freedom of conscience. Many people, I know what I'm talking about, because I was in that situation myself. My body is out of detention, Mukobeko, but my heart is still there. My heart is still there, because I know people who committed no offenses simply for deciding to belong to UPND. They are in prison. We cannot continue in normal ways like that and say, no, kwacha, tiende kumarikate. No, tiende kunyumba tigakuna. What is going on in our country is abnormal. It is wrong. And I speak to the media, through the media here, to the nation, that the nation must know that we have a country, we have a PF government that is destroying our society, that is detaining people in this manner. And this cannot be right. This cannot be normal. And I would like the nation to reach a point where they say, this is wrong. I repeat, this is wrong, and distinguish it from what is right. There's nothing right about how PF is running this country. There's everything wrong about the way PF is running this country. And until citizens draw that line, you will continue thinking that maybe Mwaliteta committed a crime. Those of you who were with Mwaliteta that day, who did he rob? Who did he rob?
No one.
Now, this gentleman called Mr. Lungu is supposed to look after citizens of Zambia. He swore to look after citizens of Zambia. But he's actually destroying citizens. We should draw the line. That's my message today. We should draw the line and say we will not entertain things that are wrong and live normal lives because it's not you. I've told you many times. I've told Zambians many times. Today is Hakainde. Today is Mwaliteta. Tomorrow it's you. And you are aware. Some of the people if we know what is wrong, we will not support it. That's the message I'm giving today. And we will work against those things that are wrong together. I think we should all say, the nation today should say, we want to see Lungu and his thugs arresting Mwaliteta for a crime he did not commit. Because he was campaigning Kafue, because he was discharging his duty in a democratic, supposed to be democratic society. Now he's being hunted down like a wild animal. We should say no to these habits, to these maneuvers, to these wrong things. I want to ask the police to remain professional. I know, as Chair said, we are actually their friends. Many of them know that we are their friends. We stand for them. We speak for them. There are a lot of injustices being done against the police. We speak for them. We work for them as we work for other civil servants, including other men and women in uniform, whose salaries are delayed every month, while somebody is lavishing in a plane worth millions of dollars. Absolutely no shame at all. I've never understood how a normal human being can be devoid of shame. How can you be asking the police to go and arrest Mwaliteta in that brutal way? The police whose salaries you have not paid on time. First, they are paid very little money. Very, very little money. Where is your conscience? Where is your shame? Exactly like you are saying. Where is your self-examination? You ask a policeman whose salary is so small to go and brutalize an innocent citizen because of political affiliation. Yet to say you run a country which is democratic. Where is your common sense? Where is your humanity? You ask a policeman, as I said, salary is delayed. You ask a policeman who lives in a small, tiny little house, which is a colonial house. You ask this policeman whose children are at college and you have withdrawn meal allowances. That policeman whose child has had the meal allowance withdrawn. You ask this policeman, go and brutalize Mwaliteta. Where is your shame? Where is your humanity? A policeman whose child completed college and 4 years they are walking the streets. They have no jobs. Hakuna misewezi. Shame. Cheat. You were saying more jobs. But now, it is not a debate, Kulibenchito. A policeman who, when there's a funeral in their family, can't even afford to buy a coffin for his father or his mother or her mother or her father. That's the policeman you are asking, go and brutalize Mwali Teta and others. Just think the message we're delivering. Reflect. What does it mean to such a person who is acting like that? Turning human beings against innocent human beings. We are saying, police, please, time has come for you to say, I cannot execute this illegal instruction. I know you may not say it directly like that. There is a way you say it. You are sent to do that to Mwali Teta. I saw it in 1991, 1990, 89, 1990, 91. I saw it myself. Intelligence officers used to be sent to Chiluba. Go and investigate Chiluba. When they reached there, they said, Chiluba, I have been sent here to investigate you and eventually to arrest you. But since Kumanga, because nine and Ibutika. It happened. Yes. Some of you are young. It happened. Yes. And when I say that, you can even reflect on names of such intelligence officers, how they conducted themselves. Policemen, they would go to Chiluba in Dola. We've been sent to arrest you. Come, we'll take you to a safe house. We are coming at 03 in the morning. They go there at 23 hours, take Chiluba out of the house, hide him somewhere. Then in 03 they go, Mr. President, we didn't find him there, he's gone. Yes. That is what should start happening now. Yes. You are in the judiciary, please do not be used by these tyrants. Time has come to say, this is wrong. Although I'm in the judiciary, I'm not going to be used to jail somebody who's innocent. I'm a policeman, I will not brutalize Mwali Teta and others. I'm a civil servant, I will not be used to sign a contract which leads to corruption. You're a civil servant. We speak for you, we stand for you. We know that you're suffering under PF, and we've said many times, we will look after you. Yes. That's what we've said. So time has come for you to do the right thing. I said, I repeat, you may not do it in a normal or conventional way, but there's a way you can do it. You know the way to do it. Do the correct thing. Chair, you said it correctly. We are friends of the police. We see how they are suffering. We see how they are being abused. You should look forward to a UPND government, which will bring back normalcy, which will bring back it will bring back order. It will bring back decent salaries in the public. Because these people, I can talk about myself, I don't need to ride a presidential jet worth millions of dollars. I don't need it. I started riding those planes, I was a young businessman. I don't need it. That money, we would use it around, we'll turn it around. That's why I said that jet, one of the first things we're going to sell is that jet, and we bring the money and pay policemen. Instead of using them against citizens, we will use the police. First and foremost, pay them well. Yes. And pay them their salaries on time. Yes. And pay the public servants, public service workers. Pay UNZA, all the retirement benefits, and those retirees that are sleeping in the streets. We will utilize the scarce resources, which we know how to manage, and not to spend extravagantly and abuse the resources to abuse citizens like Mwali Teta and many of us. We will use those resources, money recovered from that plane. How can an individual say he needs a plane so that when he flies he can stretch his legs? 2 legs are important. How can 2 legs be more important than 34 million legs? 2 legs of one individual are more important than 34 million legs of 17 million Zambians. I hope citizens are beginning to see what we've been talking about for a long time. And that's why you should be proud to be UPND. Consistency. That money will use it in hospitals.
Yes.
That money will use it to pay student meal allowances. That money will use it to deliver clean water for our people. That money will use it to make market trading places for our marketeers available. That money will be used to give loans to our mama, Agulisa Tomato Market, to expand their business. That money will be used for taxi drivers to have an opportunity to own a taxi. That money will be used for Washmite who have been retired to facilitate their retirement benefits so that they can look after their families. Listen, I'm going to the Copper Belt, whether someone likes it or not. We will be talking about these issues on the Copper Belt.
Yes.
But imagine how you feel. If you watched news recently, you saw retirees who have not been paid.
Can you imagine?
Some went on early retirement. They were coaxed to go on early retirement. And they've died without receiving their benefits. Some of them, they get a little bit. When they die, the families can't claim the balance. But you are riding in a jet, stretching your 2 small legs. When people are dying like that. And all you can do is to instruct policemen to hound citizens like this. Kiss Kaman, what's going on? Ni chinji chiri kuchitika. Peace village tika. And even as citizens, we must reach a point where we say, even if you are hungry, you can't go to PF. You want to join a band of thugs. What do you want to go and do there? It means you are now saying, I'm part of the destruction of the country. I can never do anything like that myself.
Why not the
And don't me ask questions. Don't ask me questions around this issue. But all I'm saying to you, Zambians, I advise you, this is not a time to go to PF unless you want to join the wrong. You want to join the thugs. You want to join the people.
They have stolen everything, they have finished. What are you going to steal?
Yeah. So I am saying to you, Zambian, this sort of behavior must end. We must not tolerate it anymore. Our focus going forward as a people, for us as UPND, my colleagues here and all of you, including you journalists, Vinasira Bakuti in a politician. No.
everyone is a politician?
Njala ili munyumba mwako. Njala ili munyumba. Njala ili munyumba. I am a businessman. I've been talking to my fellow businessmen. I started talking to them a long time ago. I said, guys, I am going to help turn around the country. It can only happen with good leadership. Many of my friends then, 10, 11 years ago, they said to me, HH, we are businessmen. Let's stay in business. Today, they are the ones phoning me every day. HH, you were right. Because I told them that when there's leadership which is incapable, as the PF leadership is, the whole PF, si muntu umozi mu PF. Bonse binaola mkate. When the leadership is rotten, when the leadership is brutal, doing what they're doing to Maritas and many others, when the leadership has no vision, you cannot run a business. What business will you run?
Everything.
Okay, if you're a good businessman, let's take it, that it may be true. But when the economy is destroyed like today, people have no money. Who will buy what you are selling? One of my colleagues said, HH, you and I have properties. Let's just end rentals. Let's just rent our houses. I said to him 10 years ago, I said, watch what I'm telling you. Soon, your house will be empty. There will be no tenants because people have no money to pay you rent. Last week, he came home. He says, HH, you remember the conversation we had? I said, which one? I've had many conversations with you. He said, oh, that one we were talking about rentals and poor leadership and that, even though we have invested, there will be no income because of your tenants. So he now said, I am your chief campaigner now.
Yes.
I'm there for this. But I'll be starting from my house, starting from there in all my businesses, with all my workers, with all my customers. I said, welcome to what you should have known when I told you 11 years ago. What am I saying? No one is left unaffected. Not a journalist, not a businessman. If you sell things like I sell, food, supermarket sales have gone down by 30-40%. It means even what I sell, if I work hard, it has been wiped out by 40%.
Exactly.
You don't need to ask questions. It is because of the rotten leadership up there, a dictatorial leadership up there. Thank you. Thank you. We could have still said it. Thank you. I am saying no one is immune to this dictatorship. The chair mentioned it. No one is immune to hunger. Our job as UPND will have to deal with hunger. I told them a few months ago, don't export maize. Do you remember?
Yes.
Did they hear me?
No.
Did they listen to me?
No.
They continued selling maize, eh?
Yes.
Now you go to Kalomo, he admits that there's a maize shortage. But I told you. So what else do you want to do? We give you a projection. After calculating, we give you a projection. Save people. UPN will be focusing on feeding people, on agriculture, on hunger. Even now, we should try and find a way of resolving this hunger problem. And I recommend here today, this rotten PF government must now declare a national disaster with regard to hunger. Maybe you didn't hear it. PF government, Lungu and your friends, immediately declare this hunger situation a national disaster. Then we can attract support to get donations, support of food, of seed, for vegetables where there's water, for irrigation support, to alleviate the hunger affecting our people. So declare the hunger situation a national disaster. Then you can get support from different people because you alone have no capacity. You have no ability. And we told you, you didn't listen. You banned the maize export, the maize levels are depleted. What have you seen now? An increase in the price of milk. We projected that. That should be the focus, not brutalizing the market and other citizens. So we have given you a remedy. Please implement that remedy for the sake of the people who are faced with hunger, and there are many of them. Today you buy milling at 115 kwacha, 120. Let me remind you what this means. The true cost before the 115,000 kwacha, 115 kwacha means in old money 115,000 kwacha.
Yes.
Can you imagine a bag of meal costing for 115,000 kwacha? So what country are you talking about? So people die in homes. When you see funerals every day in your family, you must blame PF.
Yes.
Because food itself is a medicine to the body. When people are taking less food, only 1 meal a day, a disease comes, the first line of defense in the body is they have no food in their body, they die. So, you must say, this is because of PF and Lungu who have killed my relative because of hunger. I hope you are listening. When you see home bikwati vili kusira mu manyumba, mamuna akangiwa kugula bunga, akangiwa kugula dress ya mkazi, bambomenya na munyumba bikwati chasira, you must blame PF. Why? Because the husband is unemployed. The husband was retired, he has not been paid the retirement benefit. So he can't look after the wife, he can't look after the children. So blame PF. It's not a joke. I'm connecting the dots for you.
It's true.
I'm connecting the dots for you. So please, wives, be a bit tolerant to your husbands. Husbands, be a bit tolerant to your wives. So we can keep marriage. I'm giving counseling here. Look at what they're doing now, spending money on the useless sham of the National Dialogue. That money should have been used to bring food, to buy food, so that the price of meal can come down. That's what we would have done ourselves. We wouldn't have a sham of a dialogue process like that. And you can see now they are fighting. Vishini. Ichimunwa. Muchiwemba Tulanda. By the way, my dear fellow citizens, Bemba is not your language. It's our language. All of us. It's our language. Chinyanja is not your language. It's our language. So in our Bemba language we say Ichimonwa. Lack of Ichimonwa. That's why I said before PF are like Chimbwino plan. This is what I meant. The money in the National Dialogue being wasted in the sham, Bambomenya na Puja, even those that thought that they could go there and help. We knew you can't help there. There's nothing, because everything was designed wrongly there. When you vote, you lose. So they are reintroducing deputy ministers. When there's no money in the country, they want to increase the cost by reintroducing deputy ministers.
What reasoning is that?
They want parliament is supposed to dissolve so that you go to an election without using government resources. They want the ministers and the MPs to remain in parliament up to the election time so that they can use in the campaigns government resources. That is the money we should be using to pay students' allowance. That's the money we should be using as UPNG to buy medicine. That's the money we will be not allowing given to ministers, vehicles and fuel, so that we can have a free, fair, credible election. So, Nzelu Kulije.
You are Nase.
Nzelu Kuli? Kwani mchitumbuka. Nzelu Kulije. Nzelu Kuli? Nzelu Kuli? Akauka muntu kwacha atamerida. what? You are leading who? To where? Where are you leading people? Into poverty. You are leading citizens into poverty. You are saying that no one will be belt tightening, but you are creating costs in that constitutional amendment chart. You're creating costs because the cabinet continued in sitting there illegally in 2016. We went to court, won the case, and they're supposed to pay money. Instead of paying money to reimburse citizens so that we can buy medicines, they are now saying, let's change the law. What sort of people are they? To suit your
Moreover, it's us coming in power, we don't want that.
You know that we will not tolerate those things. Everybody knows that. We are prudent, we will save money. I am showing you what you should be doing instead of harassing Maritet, instead of arresting political, opponents. I am saying this is what we are advising them to do. This is what we will do as UPND. I am saying to them, stop wasting more money. If you were thinking, if you had vision, you could have even ended that national dialogue yesterday.
Yes.
You can see it's breaking down inside there. Now they are extending it. And they tell you there are no allowances. They are lying. Parliament is paying their MPs and their officials who are there. The ones from cabinet office is paying. The ones from government ministries, those ministries are paying allowances. Then they come and cheat you. This causeways, eh?
No, we are not sure.
They come, this Duruna reverse, they are saying there are no allowances. The allowances are being paid by parliament, by ministries, by cabinet office. Who owns parliament? The people of Zambia. Who owns cabinet office? People of Zambia. So who is paying? It is you people who are now paying 120 kwacha for a bag of milk. That's, I'm trying to show you what a decent government should be doing. Panawahes, citizens of Zambia. Look at the debt mountain, Congo. In June, next month, June, July, the debt interest repayment. There is no money, I can tell you now. This PF Chimwino plan government has no money to service the debt. You think I'm lying? No. You don't believe me yet? Sina kuuze utukuzangala debt crisis. Sina kuuze utukuzangala economic meltdown. Sina kuuze there will be no jobs. Sina kuuze utukuzangala kulibendala mu manyumba. Now I'm telling you that there is no money to service the debt. They've run down the reserves. They are earning less dollars because they are not producing enough. They've now agreed. I told them that the economy will shrink. Now they've admitted after I told them. Now they've agreed that the economy will only grow at 2.5. They can't even get 2.7. If they get 2%, they will be lucky. Me, I'm predicting to you that it will be less than 2%. They found the economy growing at 7% when they took over in 2011. Then I told them that the economy will shrink. They were arguing, no, I live bitter. I didn't have to call me bitter again. The growth has shrunk from 7% to 2%, 2.5%. What does that mean? It means no leadership. Don't even say bad leadership. No leadership. Hakuna leadership. Ulibe leadership. What has happened? Now you have no money to service the debt. How do you see that there's no money? Because they're not earning enough dollars, they are now going to bureaus to buy, as a government, to buy dollars, and then they put pressure on the dollar. They're quite a lot. That's why I'm saying in our times, we would have never allowed a situation like this. Never. Never. Or less, number one. That's what we'll do. Family like solution. mapasa solution koma
Free enough.
ikambira chilibwe chinguo chimwala for UPND borrow less, number one. Two, when you borrow at a lower cost. Not Kalova, not Eurobond. 10, 11%. We will bring, any debt will bring at around 2%, 3%. I know where the money is, I know. I know. And they know that I know. Yes. That's why they at NDF, National Dialogue Forum, they said we don't want to see HH's name on the ballot paper in 2021. Is this your country? Is this their country? No! Is it not our country? All of us? They are afraid of the shame. When we take over, they will see how we will stabilize the country. And we want them to live longer. Death. We wish them a long life so they can see how the country can be run better. June, July, hakuna mali. Bridge ndalama. Rupia tafani. We need money to pay for the debt service because of poor leadership. Adisa libolela kwisa. Na libola. Where there is no leadership, that's what's happening in this country. Are we not perishing? We are. We have the solution. I didn't complete. We'll borrow less, number one. Two, when we borrow at a lower rate. Because the difference, let me tell you, this year's debt service alone in the budget is $1.5 billion. When we come in by just these two measures I've given you, we will reduce the debt service to 300 million from 1.5 billion. We are going to save $1.2 billion a year. Nikakamba tibane wa masini zabatenga buskulu ashusha atindala mazirikuli. I said we will pay civil servants, men and women in uniform, decent pay. We will pay retrenchment benefit. Atindala mazirikuli. Before we start even using our brains, just a basic housekeeping, the money is there. But that's where the problem is. Please, my fellow citizens, we have solutions. So two things I've told you, right? The third thing we will do there. I know you are saying don't tell them. They have no capacity to listen. They have no capacity to implement. Because sometimes they argue that we have no solution. We have the solution. Thirdly, when we borrow money, when we raise money, we will raise money for productive expenditure, for investment, not consumption expenditure, not corruption. Just three messages I've given you. There's the solution in the debt. Nifuna mairo baka yanke otechecha nanama. Tuone amena anga yanke. Umozi wa PF anga yanke mairo. Otechecha nanama. Ndeko mtu ufya umo. Vale vamu. Muka yanke mairo. Kuti nanama olo nakambazazo wani. I want someone to rebut what I've said. If a child inherits $1 million from a parent who died, and the child doesn't know how to use $1 million, after a year or 2 years, that $1 million will be gone. Yes. This is a Lungu government. Yes. This is a Lungu government. Yes. They inherited a growth of 7%. Now they wiped it out to 2%. They inherited reserves, foreign reserves of so many billions. Now they've wiped them out. They inherited an exchange rate at Mwanawasa's time, 4 kwacha to $1. 4 kwacha to $1. Now they've destroyed it. It is not true that you inherit a good leadership and you can maintain it. It is the ability of the leadership. When the leadership is wrong as it is now, everything is rotten. I want to say to you, the people of Zambia, your better days are just around the corner. But you have a job to perform. You have to bring in a leadership that understands how to run the country. Leadership with a vision, a leadership that has self-control. In a mukuru this is the issue. Self-restraint, self-deny. When you work for your resources, you actually don't want to waste your resources. Exactly. But if you never understood working for resources, all of a sudden you are sitting on millions. You start behaving like a... Better days are around the corner, but you have a job. You have to bring in a leadership that is capable. Take out the Chimbwino plan. The whole PF, I have heard stories where people are saying, no, if Lungu doesn't stand, we'll bring another one. You are all rotten there. The whole PF is rotten. Because if there were people who were able to help the country, they would have told Lungu, don't buy that church. Don't borrow Eurobond, because it's expensive. Don't blow the reserves. Don't export maize. Don't deliver inputs late. Don't take away student allowances, because there will be no skills to run the economy 2 years, 3 years down the road. Stop stocking certain things that are for pleasure. Where you live there, in that public house. Save money. Support job creation. Support farmers. Support civil service. Support companies. Industry. The court will appreciate. I have a message for those traders who are now unable to bring goods because you need so much kwacha to bring the same quantity of goods you used to bring. So you can feed you. The very day we are announced as the new leaders of this country, the kwacha will appreciate it back. Yes. There is a commodity called confidence. Yes. There is a commodity called credibility. You can't touch it's there. Yes. I remember I said this some time back. One PF member said, it's just no magic. How would the kwacha appreciate just by announcing him? I realized that knowledge. There's a commodity called confidence, called credibility. I want to end here by saying to the people of Zambia, this job to bring in a competent leadership lies squarely on each one of you. Yes. You can't say Katuka is not coming up. Nalumango, no. Imenda, no. Muchelega, no. William Banda. It rests on you as an individual. As a journalist, you must say, Nainende Chula. Say to yourself that it depends on me to bring in a competent UPND leadership and remove Chimbwino plan. Greed people, corrupt people. There was only 2 groups in this country now. The bad, which is the PF and the corruption and everything, and the good, which is the UPND and the rest of the There is no middle ground here. If you are clear in your thinking, there's no middle ground. There's only the bad with PF and the good UPND and the rest of us in the opposition alliance, including civil servants. They now know that there is no middle ground. Mkwai, be of courage. Be strong. Don't be ruled by fear. Be of good courage. Even the Bible tells us that.
Yes.
Working together as a country, we've always succeeded. Always. To deliver independence, we work together. We succeeded. To take out one-party state, we work together. There was no ethnicity that time. When you are incompetent, you hide behind tribe. When you are not able to deliver, you hide behind tribe. We are all citizens first of Zambia. We love each other. We are in choir together in the church. We are in the bedrooms together. When we combine, Ebemba marries Elozi, Chewa, Namwanga marries Tonga, one Zambia, one nation, one people. One Zambia, one nation, one people. Let us be each other's keeper. Lord, bind us together. Lord, bind us together. That's my parting message to you. And through you, the media, to the nation and into the diaspora. Whoever who are in the UK, who are in Europe, who are in South Africa, this is the time to influence decisions in your country, to remove the tyrants, to place into government responsible people. Be of good courage. God bless you. God bless Zambia. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. President, for the encouraging and energizing words. And I'm sure that for those who are watching our press briefing live, are able to see the difference between the UPND leadership and the PF leadership. So at this point in time, I'm going to give an opportunity to our members of the press to ask questions. So we are going to take 3 questions. Yes, I see this.
Yes, my name is Pamela Mlenga from CBC TV. Following your statement and continuous brutalizing, arresting, conservative members, I recall not long time ago you had announced that as a party you want to go a legal way in suing the patriotic over a number of party members who are illegally arrested, and I'm sure most of them have been incarcerated. I want to get an update on that one. You've also called on your members and the nation together that we should not continue to advocate for something that is wrong. Now, looking at some of the incidences with regard to the specialty that is being reported by the Patriot Front, do you think the Law Association of Zambia is so effective as to be a word of this party?
Thank you. Yes, Brian?
My name is Benjamin Chief. I want to make a follow-up.
Speak up.
Okay, I want to make a follow-up question in line with the allegation that the government seems wanting to use National Dialogue Forum to see you out of the presidential race. And then some of the scams, alleged scams, which have been planned by the government have failed, others have succeeded. So let's assume in a case that their plan succeeds, because we saw you fighting against the national dialogue, using the members of parliament for the opposition, but it has gone on. National dialogue is taking place right now, and then in a case that they succeed doing what they are doing, what plans do you have to ensure that you maintain the rest in the presidential reign of 2021?
Thank you. We'll take the last one in this round.
My name is Mangaya. Mr. President, you regretted so much disinformation coming from government. And we are aware that when the president stands on national television to discuss any subject of his choice, even a lie becomes the truth. Now, what are you doing as a party to ensure that the lie is coming from the executive? Do not filter in the minds of the people that that is the truth which we are supposed to follow.
Thank you so much. We'll now give a chance for our president to respond to the question.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'll be very brief. Pamela. We're not Pamela. We've been chatting over here. We're arguing with her over PF in the evidence. And I hope I've convinced her. We have seen it for herself. But I respect this lady, I must be honest. Because she was able to engage me. This is the way it should be, one-on-one. This is the way it should be. We must engage each other. So I have a lot of respect for her. The legal process update on brutalized members, I can confirm that the process is commenced. It's a lot of our members. It's a lot of them. Some, as I mentioned in the past, I was only discovering when I was in detention myself. Naiwe ulimuno. Banakuletera chana, devanipeza pa nyumba. Babwela banimanga pa nyumba. Bagalibo unipasa mulandu. Even now. Just imagine, these are young people, 23, 24-year-old young people. So the point I'm making is that there are many of our members who have been victimized. Many. And we continue discovering others. But for those that we are aware of, we've started the process. I can confirm to you that Mwali Teta himself and the ones that they were arrested with were in court to seek redress through the courts. I was hoping earlier, I'm the one who slowed this process down. In my judgment, I thought that the PF government will come to the table in two ways. One, to stop the brutality, to stop the violence on our people, to stop arresting our people on falsehood, trumped up charges. I thought they would stop. They haven't. Because they haven't, I thought they would also come to a table to say they're wrong citizens and they must do what is right. They have not. So we have now taken a decision that we are dealing with a rogue government which does not care for UNZA lecturers. They don't care about students closing CBU. Please reopen CBU. Reopen CBU yesterday. Pay those lecturers their monies and others and students. I've said it already. But the point I'm making, Pamela, is that this government does not want to talk sense with anyone. They only want to talk brutality. The only way they know to talk is bullets, is tear gas, is arresting people. It's stopping me from going to Copperbird. In case you are not aware, I'm supposed to have been in the Copperbird yesterday. They cancelled all my meetings. We notified the police, then they cancelled all my meetings. But you people, all you know is that, why is HH not traveling? I go to Lundazi, I end up in the police station. I go to Sesheke, you know what happened. I go to Bahati, I was hounded out of Bahati. I left Radesh. I was there, Patrick. Yes. 4 days I was supposed to be in Bahati. I was only allowed to have one meeting during a by-election. Why am I being treated like this? I'm the most humiliated, the most persecuted, the most discriminated active politician today. Myself. Detained 15 times for crimes I did not commit. Why am I being treated like I'm not a citizen of Zambia? Why? Why are UPND members being shot at, being killed? Opposition. She mentioned it. PF killed Kasongo in Bahat, but no one is arrested. Sorry, in Ron, I'm sorry. In Ron. A lot of our people were beaten in Ron. Patrick, although you didn't hear about it, Michele was to be killed in Bahat. This lady, on the voting day, had to be evacuated from Bahat, Chairman Almango, and myself. Why are we being treated like this? So we have come to the conclusion that they cannot negotiate with anybody. We have to use every legal means to achieve our objective. Every legal constitutional means, including going to court, so I can confirm with you we are in court on a number of matters. Actually, one matter relating to the banning of the market. If you remember, I didn't know when court and said Mwaritet and his colleagues were caught, and they know they'll be compensated. There's no normal judge who will not compensate people who were detained illegally for 1 year, sleeping on the floor for 1 year. Pamela, I know what is going on in those prisons. I know people are dying. Suffocation. There is no sanitation there. We were sleeping on feces on the floor, no blanket. I know. I'm aware of people dying there. Humiliation, diseases, and we're living normal lives. And you can stand up and say, I'm going to be. We are worried. You are in Kanyama. You are being brutalized. You say, no, I'm resigning from UPND, from opposition. I'm going to ruling. Ruling what? What are they ruling? Ruling what? We must know what is wrong, what is right at the individual. Pamela, I can confirm, my sister, my dear friend, that the matters are wrong. So when you see matters in court, the nation should not blame us to say, why are they in court? It's because we have an unreasonable government that cannot negotiate. Let me give you leadership, an example of leadership. A young Ethiopian took over the prime ministership, the leadership of Ethiopia. There the leader is called the prime minister. A young 32-year-old, immediately took over. Within 30 days, he released all political prisoners. He unbanned political parties. He said, all refugees who are Ethiopian, come home. You don't need to negotiate. Come home. He ended the war with Eritrea within 2 months of taking over. That is leadership. Here, hakuna leadership. Lungu and PF should have compensated people that they've brutalized. They should have stopped brutalizing people. We are here because they're brutalizing Mwaritet. When will they stop doing wrong things? They are brutalizing journalists. We are on. We are on. We are on until there's decent leadership when we come in. We will stop brutalizing people, including them. I know they are skeptical, including them, because if we brutalize them, it means we are no different from them. It means we are the same like them. We occupy a higher ground ourselves. We're not like them. We will not be dragged in a pig mat. That's a pig mat they're doing. Dragging citizens into a pig mat. Into a stench. We will not do that. But there will be a rule of law. Anti-Corruption Commission will operate independently. On their own, they will decide what to do. We're not influenced like them. Police will be professional. Pamela, you know the police should not arrest anybody without investigation. They should not arrest someone without, they search someone without a search warrant. But they search us. But we will restore that. Even them, they will live a normal life. They made us live abnormal lives. but we are different from them. Zambians should not tolerate what is wrong. Yeah, is Lance doing the right thing? I think, Pamela, your guess is as good as mine. But there's no guess here. The Lance of 90s, the Lance of the 2000s is not the Lance we see today. I am open about it. Because citizens are crying. And they're saying, where is Lance? I'm not here to criticize Lance. I'm here to say, Lance, you have a duty. The Lance of a young lady, a young, strong, professional lawyer. You know her, before I mention her name. Huh? Linda Kasonde. Just the Lance of Linda Kasonde. Yesterday, she stood, and her committee stood for the people. The Law Association of Zambia should stand for the people who are suffering. These illegalities, they must stand for them. But I guess fear has permeated even amongst lawyers. Because when a tyrant rules, even lawyers are frightened. But be of courage, even you lawyers, be of courage. We expect a law that will stand for the people. By profession, by training, by action. Change. CF wants to use NDF to block HH. I'm not worried. You will not see any worry on my forehead. What is wrong? Is it? Wrong. What is wrong? Is it? Wrong. Why should I be afraid myself? I'm not standing for myself. We are standing for the value we bring to the country. For the vision, for the jobs, for lower prices of millennium, because it will improve agriculture, to solve the debt problems, as I described today. That's what we stand for. HH is just a body, it's flesh. But it's what we stand for that which matters. Together with you, shared vision. So, you can't block what is right. You can't block what is correct. You end up blocking yourself along the way. I'm serious. We've seen it before. They try to block SATA. You've forgotten, you people. They try to block SATA qualifications. When they introduced that amendment in 2016, they found out a lot of PFMPs had no grade 12. What did they do? They then went to clarify the law, said equivalent. And then they started buying papers. Does it make them, intelligent? No. You start buying pieces of paper and you call them qualifications. They're as good as bad as the paper you have printed. Because sooner in classroom, but to me, this grade 12 thing just brought us a mess. We need good leadership. Even a guy who never went to school like my grandfather was a wiser leader than some of these people who have qualifications. Yes. We had someone here who knew my grandfather. He knows that he was a wise man, but never sat in a classroom. So would you say that he can't be a councillor, he can't be an MP, he can't be a president? You are equating Narumango, maybe not Narumango, and this. You are equating HH to a councillor. You are equating HH to... If they succeed in blocking us, what will we do? Change. It's not what I will do. It's what the citizens want. Yes. And if the citizens want good leadership, the citizens should start by rejecting that bill on the floor of the House. Yes. That's what they should start by doing. If they don't do that, who is going to suffer? It is the children, it's the orphans who can benefit from the UPND policies. It is you yourself, my friend, Jenny. Yeah. You should practice your journalism without a threat of tear gas. That's what we'll do to you. You are our young man. We don't like it when you are running around with your camera, tear gas, all over. We'll end that. So I think the best protection we have is not ourselves. it's the people of Zambia. Yes. They now know, remember the theme of today, know what is wrong, know what is right. The people of Zambia know what is wrong. Was Chiluba a councillor before he became president? No. Chiluba did a lot of better things than these people masquerading as leaders. Eh?
Yes. Yes.
At least he grew the economy. But Chiluba grew the economy.
Yes.
Give him credit. Eh? So, change it. Our protection is you. It's the 17 million Zambians whose 34 million legs are suffering because of 2 legs of someone. They will decide. And I'm comfortable about it. Very comfortable. I never lose sleep about it. Hakuna. Mangaila. Lungu propagating and the PF propagating like that. You mean the executive? What are we doing? I think really this is a question that must be answered by ourselves, you in journalists in particular. When they tell lies, who carries their lies?
The journalists.
The media, isn't it?
Yes.
So you can stop their lies by not carrying it. Who carry? Because you guys, you go to a press conference for PF like here, they are telling lies, lying between their teeth, and then you carry it. You can do what I would do myself. That this minister says this, but the correct position factually is this.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
To stop us from exposing them.
Exactly. Exactly.
So now, as an institution, what are you putting in place to ensure that when the president, for example, stands on the national to speak of anything of his choice, even a lie becomes a law. And the
I understand.
that it's a law. And when we carry it to the contrary, we are being attacked as being unethical. So
I heard you.
how do we
The first remedy is that don't carry lies. Because if you carry lies, you know they're lies. You are helping them to grow their lies. So I am told the pen is mightier than the gun. That's what I was told when I was young. So that's the first thing. So let's not propagate their lies. Let's not report their lies. 2, when they threaten you that say this thing, they force you, don't admit. Don't do what is wrong, because you know it's wrong. Number 3, we as UPND, for example, I said to them, you have forgotten. Last year's harvest, I said, do not sell maize at 60 kwacha, 65 kwacha, because it's a low price, it will damage farmers. Sell it at 90, 100 kwacha. I said it. So it was my way of helping to correct the lies. They gave a wrong price, told a lie, the cost of production was much higher than that. Today, it is the price that they paid so low to farmers. They bought maize at 60 kwacha. The same politicians are now selling the maize at 110 kwacha. They've stolen from farmers. What sort of people? You steal from poor people. My guy. Oh no, you steal from poor people. You call yourself a businessman. That's not the way we do business. So we talk against the lies, isn't it? But we don't have guns, tear gas. We'll continue talking, sir. As part of what we'll be doing. We'll continue talking. Number 4, together as citizens, we should reject those maneuvers at the National Dialogue Forum to change the Constitution. Because that act already is illegal. Yes. That National Dialogue Act is illegal. It contravenes the Bill of Rights, freedom of association, freedom of assembly. It is. We've said it. So we are talking. I challenge PF to arrest me. You know, I sat here with some of my colleagues in Parliament. We were talking about this. Let me tell you, one, that So you cannot be arrested on an act which contravenes the Constitution. Number two, are you aware that we have already gone to court through Douglas Yakalini and Jack Mwimbu to challenge that act? That's what we're doing. Falsehoods, eh? You are saying, what are we doing to challenge falsehoods? A ruling should have come this week. Because they've extended that sitting, they don't. Not correct.
Very wrong.
To allow wrong to continue. We did our part. The way Maingai, if you remember, we went to court over the ministers who served in cabinet beyond the dissolution of parliament, and we won. And the court, constitutional court, ruled that they must reinvest the money. Those ministers, if they reinvest the money, what have they done now? They've gone to NDF to amend the law.
But they can't change it.
I know. So this law is faulty. It's against the Constitution, number one. Number two, we've said it. Number two, and I've challenged them to arrest me. I'm waiting. You know, I'm tired of waiting. Because I want to go to court to prove that this law is illegal. The second thing is that we told our MPs and others that you will not be prosecuted, but they were frightened by threats, falsehoods. The PF said, no, we shall arrest. Did you hear what the spokesperson said 2 days ago?
Yes.
They said no MP will be prosecuted because we have no right, we have no legal base to prosecute.
Because they're sitting on a
But they said they lied to people. You're right. Now, here is the trick here. That law ceases to be law immediately those sittings end there.
Yeah.
Are you aware of that? So who will they prosecute on a law that has expired? Team we no plan. Just the level of mediocrity. The level of mediocrity frightens you. So for those MPs who were afraid of prosecution, we told you there will never be a prosecution because this law will expire after the sitting. It expires naturally. And you cannot be prosecuted in a law which is expired. So what they did a don't kubeba on you. That's all. They just did a don't kubeba on you. Thank you. I think we have done it.